This is like the craziest fuel pump ever.
These are F1 fuel pumps that they use in F1 cars.
Like F1? Like that's not a brand, like a fucking F1 car.
That's why I'm going to hang out in the mine.
Welcome back. This is WRX update, GC8 update slash sit the fuck down because you're about to melt with everything that's going on. It's getting way out of control and we're not even going to talk about the stuff on the bench. We're just going to talk about the car. Can I take this off? Yeah. The engine's in and mocked up. Looks ridiculous. Custom fuel rails that Dean's made. Intake manifold just looks stupid. V-mount is V-mounted. Looks hectic. Battery has been mocked up and it's like some ridiculous, super lightweight, crazy thing. So sick. AccuSump, that basically builds oil pressure. You could think of it like a spring really. So when the engine's running, it builds oil pressure in there. And then if the oil pressure in the motor ever dips down below whatever, X amount, it will just supplement that with the oil that's already built up in there for X amount of time until that's not built. So like a real world example of that would be going around a turn real hard, sump starts to pick up air. It's not actually going to pick up air and do any damage because the AccuSump is going to supplement that for a small period of time. When you stop taking that corner, the motor then just builds pressure back up in there and it just builds pressure until it's ready to go again. Hey?
So how many pounds of air, like what you said?
Oh, you can set a little.
Underneath there, see that little black valve?
Yes.
You can pump that up so you can actually make it so it releases the oil really, really quick, but it won't hold as much oil. So the less pressure you've got in it, the more that there's a piston in there, the more the piston will fill that cylinder.
Oh, that makes sense. So you could just have it drop its guts like straight up.
Yeah, if you put like 100 pound in there, every time that the oil pressure dropped below like will drop below 100 pound, it would make 100 pound.
Yeah.
It would run out of oil until it got over 100 pound. It would need to fill up, which would only do at like 4,000 RPM or whatever.
We were talking about that at the Savo too, which is a really cool thing to even imagine. So you could actually initiate from the Nexus. If you went to start the car, you could press start, and instead of starting straight away, you could actuate the solenoid in there to lube everything in the motor and then actually start the car. That's a bit of a nice to have, but it could be done like that if we wanted to. Moving on, everything like, so hydro brake has been done and plumbed, and like this looks insane. That's like an OEM bend to the chassis and then down to here. It looks like nothing, but that is like a lot of work. The next like crazy thing, pedal box has been mounted. There's obviously still a lot of room for adjustment around here, but the pedal box itself, we actually sat Dean in the seat and said, yep, that's where it needs to go. Tacked it in, and then Dean did Dean things and welded it all out and made it look the way it does.
Those little switches I made, those little thing switches. There's one on the hydro to disengage the center diff on the GC8, and there's this little switch here for the brake lights, and there's that one there for...
That's the switch he's talking about there.
That little one there for like clutches and stuff.
Why do you need a clutch switch? Just very, very simple. Switch is on the clutch there. You come off the switch, releases, you come off the pedal, releases the switch. Back on, clicks it out. Obviously it goes without saying there's $10,000 worth of speed flow line and fitting in here, and that's obviously been plumbed up to make it just look ridiculous. It's like these two lines that run through the car, the two fuel lines, and it just looks stupid, to be honest. And it goes through the bulkhead.
Each end too.
Yeah.
Each end of the car, like each firewall, its bulkhead, it's one line all the way through. So joins in the car.
That's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that a So part of the rules and regs is what Dean was just saying. the fuel line down the back there is actually just one line through the whole car. You can't have any joins in it at all.
This oil line comes out of the active sump.
Yeah.
Goes out of the active sump, straight to the bulkhead. So all those alloy plates on the firewall to reinforce it, so the bulkheads actually tighten up and they're stiff and good. They're not just flimsy pieces of shit.
So that makes a lot of sense, really. Like oil, fuel, don't really want that in the car. Moving on to what will be the back. It doesn't stop here. Do you want to give us a rundown on the specs of this bad boy, mate? This is like the craziest fuel pump ever.
I got this from Benny from Benchmark. These are F1 fuel pumps that they use in F1 cars.
Like F1? Like that's not a brand, like a fucking F1 car.
Yeah, they're actually the same fuel pump they use. They're ProTech, which is a European mob. Brushless, runs on PDM, so we can run through the Nexus and literally have this thing drawing 2 amps and flowing 5 litres of fuel at idle and then all in at, full boost. 4 or 5 amps.
I was going to say, like that there, that's the cables for it.
Yeah, like they're.
And you're talking like horsepower wise, like
550 kilowatts, you reckon?
Yeah. So like that. For that amount of like.
Whereas if you compared that to what's in the back of the GTR.
Exactly. Like go watch the videos we did on the GTR. It's like a myriad of just shit compared to.
This all works really well and goes as per what it's meant to. There's probably going to be 2 of these going on the back of the GTR. Let's be honest. Because.
But we spent so long on that fuel system.
Yeah, but think about
just it. Niceness.
No amps. Like we haven't got a power station in the boot. This is literally like 5 amps or something will run this car.
And it's just sick. The black and white just.
When you lose your mind and you need me, or you just wanna talk. If you're feeling shaky, I won't let you fall. It's true. I'll be there for you. When you're losing your mind and you need me, or you just wanna talk. If you're feeling shaky, I won't let you fall. It's true. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. By your side, you cut me deep with those empty eyes. I wanna be your light. I'll drink your tears that you cried all these years, just so you can breathe and forget all your fears. Just so be
So, as a bit of an update on where we're actually at now and what we're actually doing, Dean's just been tinkering each night and we've just gotten the box back from some box bloke, I don't know. Anyway, just got a center diff put in it.
The never-ending box bloke that takes forever to give you the gearbox.
Yeah, Dean hasn't changed, guys. He still whinges about everyone. So
4 months. 4 months.
What was it? A center diff?
Front diff.
Front diff.
And the rear diff.
And the rear diff, yeah.
So both of them Cusco 1.5 blades.
Yeah, so both of just there's a good chance that this car could do all-wheel drive burnouts. We are going to put the gearbox on, no clutch, nothing. Just put it on because one, we're a bit hairy on where this manifold's actually sitting and we don't really want to cut the carbon bonnet. So we're thinking with a bit of luck, we can hang the gearbox off the back of this motor and it's going to actually tilt that down and in, hopefully give us some clearance here, and that will also mean that some other stuff can be fabbed up as far as turbo location and piping out of the V-mount and a lot of other little bits and pieces. For now, box is going to go on, that's what we're going to do, and then hopefully it pulls that motor back a little bit and gives us some clearance, especially around this section. because it would be nice to have a little bit more room around here just for some twist mount things. Paint a picture for that. The turbo for this car was actually bought off GTR sales, which is a scary thing because if you're buying turbos for WRXs off GTR sales, I think the pistons and the head gaskets in an EJ would just melt straight away. Anyway, we're gonna jack it back.
EJ is stronger than fucking
Now it is. Jack the car up, hopefully put the box on in a few minutes and get some movement out of this. So let's finally jump in. Welcome to the update of the GC8. So she's getting just way too legit now.
Shit.
Hectic. So our theory of setting it back worked a treat. It actually set the whole thing back, so now we actually have a bit of clearance here. Well, I say a bit, but like it doesn't look like much, but like that's a super thick front mount intercooler, and we still have clearance in here, so that's a good thing. And the box is now in, which has set everything else back. We just got to hope that the bonnet still kind of clears it. But Dean had the genius idea of taking the fuel tank out and fiddling around with some fuel bits so he can actually finish blowing up the boot. I would not recommend putting that back in because it's a shit job. But anyway, I honestly just subscribe if you want to see this car get built. I have no idea what's coming next, but I can tell you with the parts that are here, it's just gonna like, well, you'll see. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Ever since you shut the door on everything we knew, you're too late for love, feeling your trip, love, feeling on love, feeling your trip, love, feeling on.